Hey guys, Ultramaximus here, and I'm back with another Transformers review. This time we're going to take a look at the Fall of Cybertron Swindle in the G2 color scheme. So, a couple things I want to do. I was going to show some variations of Bruticus, my Bruticus review, and I did one variation, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to show a different variation per individual robot. I just kind of think that would be fun to do. So here's another variation of Bruticus in his mode, and what I've done here, Swindle is now an arm, and then I put Brawl back as a leg, but I altered Brawl's leg to go with Blastoff here because Blastoff's a little tall, and he needs that little extra room, and it doesn't give him such a peg leg look. And this is another really good variation, I think. I like this figure in the fact that you can do that. You can kind of switch it up a bit. And Swindle makes a really nice looking arm here. He's got his hands that pop out, and what's nice in this configuration, he's got two black hands. So the black hand here and off of Vortex, and the black hand here off of Swindle. So this is another really nice variation. And then the gun, instead of mounting it as a gun, I mounted it as additional pieces on the back behind him, and I think that looks pretty cool too. So yeah, not too bad. This is a nice variation. So if you get this figure, you can really just kind of configure it the way you want to, and make it, make it look the way you want to. And that's really nice about the combiners. And the old G1 combiners were like that, which was really nice. In fact, Scramble City kind of touched on that a bit, where they would actually switch them around for power-up modes, and they actually, one of the, I believe the Stunticons jumped into Superion and shorted him out, which was kind of cool. But yeah, so another variation of Swindle. So let's take a look at Swindle himself and see what he looks like. All right, so here's Swindle in his arm mode. This is what one configuration he can look like. We've got the socket joint here that can obviously be for the leg. We use his hand here to kind of flip out, and depending on which side, he's got two hands. So if you want the arm to be the other side, there we go. So that is kind of cool. And those are not his robot hands, because his robot hands are really rather tiny. So those are specifically there to configure as an arm. Now you can reconfigure this guy. Let's see here if I can do this right. It's not going to look exactly right because I can't remember exactly how it folds out. But you can pull the feet out, mount in, and then mount upright, and now he is a leg. Okay, so either way, this guy is really nice. He was really well built in the fact that he could be either an arm or a leg, and I really do dig that. I wish the others were done a little bit better that way. Now, I will say that this, the snap-on piece, man, when you pull this on and off, it feels like you're ripping it and you're going to break it apart. So I don't know what the durability of that's going to be in the long haul. So, but I mean, it does work. And some of the other, like my Predaking Gestalt is like that as well. So yeah, is what it is. So let's take a look at this guy in his vehicle mode and see what we think. All right, so here we have Swindle in his Cybertronian vehicle mode thing. Yeah, The first thing this makes me think of is a four-wheeler. It makes me think of an ATV. The G1 Swindle, original Swindle, was a Jeep, World War II Jeep, Starscream's Brigade. He found a bunch of World War II vehicles, a Jeep, a little plane, a helicopter, not a helicopter, something else, and a tank and a truck and that kind of stuff. And Swindle was the Jeep, and he looked really cool as Jeep. He was always kind of one of my favorites. This is obviously in no way a Jeep, so nothing to do with that original form at all. It looks like an ATV. Maybe it's the fact that that gun has handles on there. For some reason, I see another robot sitting here and grabbing onto the handles and driving him around. So, yeah, that just looks kind of odd to me. But other than that, I mean, it looks okay. I like I don't know if they're supposed to be engine ports or exhaust ports there. He's got this, like, nice little grill piece, these kind of Thunder Tank claw-looking things. And the wheels have really nice detail, but unlike the San Diego Comic-Con version, there's nothing painted in, so it's got the molded apps with no paint, and that is disappointing. At least they could have used that same purple and put onto the side of the wheels and give it a good Tron vehicle kind of look. The rest of it looks pretty good. It's got decent detail. The back end is kind of so-so. It does roll. Now, the tailpipes, his hands are visible, but because everything's black, it just kind of gets hidden in there. You do have some nice molded detail back here, kind of the exhaust slash just other, or not exhaust, but a suspension system, maybe in other ports. And I think the other thing that makes me think of ATV is the fact we have these mud flaps here, and we can see through the vehicle in that position. So, yeah, I'm going to call it a Cybertronian ATV, flat out. That's what it looks like to me. It's okay. It looks not too bad, I guess. I love the giant Decepticon logo there, G2 style, but I mean, it's an ATV. Never really had that, I guess. So yeah, Jeeps were kind of ATVs. That kind of works, I suppose. So let's take a look at this guy in his robot mode and see what we think, shall we? All right, so here we have Swindle in his robot mode, and you know, it's kind of interesting. Swindle has always been my favorite Combaticon. I like his personality. He's kind of the flam artist of the group. Obviously, his name is Swindle. You really kind of see that for the first time, I think, in the Five Faces of Darkness, when they're talking about dealings and such. But he's awesome in Transformers Animated. I love the character in that series. They did a great job with him. But this incarnation is very, very strange. Now, it is obviously the G2 colors. However, his head sculpt is completely different than what Swindle's normally looks like. He's very pouty. His head sculpt just a little bit different. He does have the kind of goggle visor, but that's about it. That just does not remind me of Swindle at all. It just looks way different. He's got these tailpipes coming up around. He's almost like he's in a turtleneck in this mode, which is very, very strange. His gun blaster is a little bit different. Now, it would have been nice if this could have been mountable on his arm, like it was in the original figure. I don't know if you can mount it onto this wheel. Maybe? No. Yeah, it just does not mount. And of course, this works to build into the larger weapon for Bruticus, which I did like how all the weapons combined to do that. I thought that was rather cool. And he's got very hoof-like feet, which is fine. I mean, his legs look okay. I mean, he's a decent-looking robot. His arms are a little tiny, I think. They just look a little off to me. He's got these tailpipe-type blasters on the side of his arms, and he's got these kind of gnarly-looking grill teeth-looking things up here. He's got a very, very prominent G2 Decepticon logo, which is very cool. I do like the camouflage. I think that looks really nice. I mean, he looks pretty decent, especially from the front. From the side, not so much, and there's really not much going on back there. So, I mean, that's really kind of a fail as far as the figure goes for me. But from the front, I mean, he looks really decent. Of course, I will rarely keep him in this mode anyway. He's always going to be an appendage to Bruticus for me. But all in all, it looks pretty decent. I wish the wheels Like I said before, I like the detail in them, but I just wish there was more kind of paint apps in the wheel itself. I think that would look very cool, kind of give it a Tron-looking vibe to it. But all in all, it's not too bad. It's very different. It doesn't really remind me much of Swindle. I mean, he's really pretty much just Swindle in name only for this figure, but it is what it is, I suppose. So yeah, there he is. Swindle, G2 coloration, Fall of Cybertron Generations, Bruticus. Thanks for watching, guys, and look for more videos in the future!